"Dalton, how come you're so quiet?" And he said, "If I wasn't this quiet, how could I hear you when you need me?"
Let's talk about another one of Toronto's cold cases. Now, this goes back to March 4th of 2004, when police responded to a 911 call at Scarborough General Hospital. When they arrived, they found a 19-year-old man that was suffering from gun, but he sadly passed away. His name was Patrick Dalton Peters, or Peters. I think it's pronounced Peters, but it's spelled Peters. And his family members, they refer to him as Dalton, even though that was his middle name. So that's what I'm going to refer to him as. So Dalton was at 283 Pharmacy Avenue. He was in an apartment on the 8th floor, hanging out with about 5 friends or so, when 2 guys burst in. And then as soon as they burst in, obviously the people there are gonna, try to defend their property. So a fight started, and during the fight, several guns rang out and Dalton was shot twice. His friends, they took the stairs down, from the 8th floor all the way to the lobby, took him into one of their friends' car and took him to the hospital. And when they arrived and the doctor saw that he was suffering from wounds, they did their duty. They had to report to the police that there was someone suffering from a gun. So police came and started their investigation. Now, when the guys came, they were wearing bandanas over their face, but one of them lost their bandana. It fell off during the fight. Police were able to retrieve that and they got DNA from that. But so far, it's never been linked to anyone in the DNA database. Having said that, it doesn't mean that the person hasn't committed other crimes. It just means that in order for your DNA to be taken and stored, you have to commit like a certain type of crime. So usually like child abuse, maybe even like a DUI, or you have to be a suspect in a particular case in order for your DNA to be taken. So far, the person has not been caught. No motive has ever been confirmed in this crime because nothing was taken from the apartment, because like I said, as soon as they came in, the fight started and the gun out. And once, they realized that someone had been shot, they just took off running. So they never got a chance to take anything. So no one knows what the motive is. Like, why were you there? Did you know somebody in the apartment? Did you come after a particular person? Or did you come to take something and Dalton just, got shot? He seemed to be like an upstanding person. He was only 19 years old, but he would volunteer regularly at a community center in his community. And all the kids there loved him. Everyone spoke highly of him, Even during the press conference, one of the guys that worked at the community center came and was talking about him.
I want to say that this isn't just an issue of black on black crime. The pain, the tragedy, isn't just felt by Dalton's family. It affects the whole community. Our community has had its share of tragedy in 2004, and nothing can bring back the lives of Dalton and Isaiah. But we shouldn't also have to suffer the pain of knowing that Dalton's killers are still on the loose. If you have any information that could help the police with this investigation, I'm pleading with you to get in touch with the police or give Crime Stoppers a call. Do your part to bring healing to our community.
Thank you, John. Thank you very much.
Up to the microphone. Can you tell us a little bit about Dalton?
He was like a son to me. He was pure. He was always there for everybody else. He did a lot of volunteer hours. I've known Dalton since he was 2 years old. and I was hoping that he would continue doing what he was doing in the community. Unfortunately, sorry.
Perhaps I can just share one story that Quendy told me. She witnessed this happening in the lobby of our community center. Dalton was a very quiet person, and one of the children said to him, "Dalton, how come you're so quiet?" And he said, "If I wasn't this quiet, how could I hear you when you need me?"
You know, that alone shows me he had good character. I'm going to attach videos here of his family members and the police talking about the case. But somebody out there knows something, as usual. And even though this case is 18 years old, the fact that they have DNA, I'm confident that this case will eventually be solved one day. Once there's DNA involved, the case will be solved. It's just a matter of when. So, have you guys ever heard about this case? If you're watching on YouTube, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and share the video. I always forget to say that. Like, I just go straight into talking and forget all about that. But yeah, have you guys ever heard about this case?
Thank you much for coming this morning. I'd like to start off, first of all, introduce a few people. To my left, we have Mr. Stenek Wishard. Stenek is Patrick's brother. To his left is Mr. John Elliott. John is the Executive Director of the Warden Woods Community Center. To my left is Quendy Kemba Game, who is also a worker at the Community Center and a close personal friend of Mr. Pitters. On Thursday, the 4th of March 2004, shortly after midnight, Patrick Dalton Pitters was at 283 Pharmacy Avenue, apartment 806 in Scarborough. He was there visiting a few friends. There were 5 people in the apartment when 2 wearing balaclavas burst in. The struggle ensued involving all people in the apartment. During the fight, a number of shots were fired. 2 bullets struck Dalton. He was rushed to hospital but did not survive his wounds. During the fight, one of the gunmen lost his balaclava. This balaclava has been recovered by the police. An examination conducted at the Center for Forensic Sciences has yielded DNA samples which are suitable for comparison. This evidence, combined with other conventionally collected evidence, will assist in the prosecution on a charge of first-degree murder of those responsible for this senseless killing. Our appeal today is for anyone with knowledge of this crime to contact me at the Homicide Squad and provide what information you may have. If you feel that you cannot contact me directly, you may relay any information you have through Crime Stoppers at 416-222-TIPS or online at 222tips.com. There is a reward that is offered. You will not be asked to identify yourself or to testify in court if you go that route. To that end, officers from the Homicide Squad, 41 Division, and the Toronto Police Auxiliary will be in the Warden Woods community this evening between the hours of 5 p.m. and 9 p.m. to conduct a canvass. Officers will be going door to door asking residents to help find the killers of Patrick Dalton Pitters. I will be at the Warden Woods Community Center tonight between 4 and 8 p.m. to conduct an informal information session and to speak to anyone in the community who has questions and concerns regarding this murder. In addition, the Unit Commander, 41 Division, Superintendent Robert Clark, and the Unit Commander of the Homicide Squad, Staff Inspector Jeff McGuire, will also be in attendance. At this time, I'd like to provide a description of the killers of Mr. Pitters. First suspect is a male black, shorter than 5'8", weighing approximately 140 pounds. He was young and skinny and has been described as puny. He was wearing a full-face ski mask. The ski mask was dark-colored or possibly camouflage-colored with green, gray, and black colors. It fit tightly over his whole head. His jacket and pants may have matched the mask. The second suspect is also male black. He is described as having a longer, oval-shaped face. Estimated age is between 17 and 21 years of age. His hair was up at the back and has been described as puffy. He had smooth skin with no hair on his face. He had medium black complexion. He was also described with a small and skinny build, no taller than 5'6". He was carrying a knapsack. This knapsack had gray shoulder straps. He was also wearing baggy clothes and a white jacket with white trim around the hood when he was seen fleeing the building. This time I'd like to call on Mr. Stenek Wishard to say a few words.
My brother Dalton Pitters was only 19 years old when he was killed. His life was very short. Dalton was not known to the police officer as a drug dealer. He lived at home. He volunteered his time with the kids in the community center with Quende at Wardenwoods Community Center. I know that police has told me that Dalton didn't do anything to bring this upon himself. My family and myself has been frustrated because those who with information as yet failed to contact the police. We know that people in the community who claim to be Dalton's friend, who refuse and who does not come forward to say anything to the police officer that they may know something about this. So I'm asking, please, if you know something about this death of my brother Dalton Peters, just come forward and please do not turn your back on Dalton because he needs your support right now. So if you guys have any information, can get to the bottom of this, just please call Crime Stoppers. And also there will be a cash reward. So please, again, I'm asking you guys, just please contact the police officer or Crime Stoppers with whatever information you guys have could lead up to all the bottom of this. I'm begging you guys, please, again, you know, the family is so much frustrated. I don't even know what to say at this present moment, you know. But please, I'm asking you guys, whatever information you guys have, just contact the police or Crime Stoppers because there's people out there that knows and refuse to say something. I'm begging you guys, please, just step forward and just make the phone call. Thank you.
Thank you, Senate. To call on Mr. John Elliott.
I want to say that this isn't just an issue of black and black crime. The pain, the tragedy isn't just felt by Dalton's family. It affects the whole community. Our community has had its share of tragedy in 2004, and nothing can bring back the lives of Dalton and Isaiah. But we shouldn't also have to suffer the pain of knowing that Dalton's killers are still on the loose. If you have any information that could help the police with this investigation, I'm pleading with you to get in touch with the police or give Crime Stoppers a call. Do your part to bring healing to our community.
Thank you, John. Thank you very much. That concludes our conference. Any questions?
Rich, you've got some detailed descriptions of
Yes, I do.
the killers. Is it people that were in the apartment that are cooperating with you, or?
Well, we've had some cooperation. As Senate has mentioned, we don't have all the cooperation we need. I can't elaborate as to who's given us these descriptions, but there are other people in the community who have stepped forward to provide certain information. But as Mr. Gouchard has mentioned, there's a few key people out there that we know have information that we'd like to speak to them also.
If you've got some DNA evidence, would it be as simple as this, that somebody makes a call, you get a name, then that person who does the Crime Stoppers call, that's it for them?
That's it for them. All they need to do is provide us with the names. We'll examine the names that come in, the information that comes in through Crime Stoppers, compare that to evidence we've collected through the conventional means, and set a course of action to gather that DNA somehow.
Right now you don't have a name?
Well, right now the investigation doesn't yield a number of people of interest in the investigation, but we need to focus, and we're asking the people of the community to help us narrow that focus down to a few people to direct our resources towards.
Do you have any idea of motive behind this?
It's difficult to say. I can say this, that there was nothing taken. A fight broke out immediately in the apartment. So whatever purpose there was of going there in the first place is totally unknown to us at this time. We can speculate, but I don't think it's fair to do that right now.
Who shot there, people who were saying get to the hospital, who are they?
There were, like I say, there were a number of people in the apartment to begin with. There were two people that actually carried Dalton down 8 flights of stairs, put him in their car, and rushed him to the hospital.
And those are his friends?
Yeah, those are friends, yes.
How accurate is the video as far as like number of shots fired, things like that?
Can't comment on the number of shots fired, but I have mentioned that he was hit twice, so he's accurate as far as that goes.
I'm talking just a little bit.
Lindsay, do you feel...
Step up to the microphone. Can you tell us a little bit about Dalton?
was like a son to me. He was pure. He was always there for everybody else. He did a lot of volunteer hours. I've known Dalton since he was 2 years old. And I was hoping that he would continue doing what he was doing in the community, unfortunately. Sorry.
Perhaps I can just share one story that Quendy told me. She witnessed this happening in the lobby of our community center. Dalton was a very quiet person, and one of the children said to him, "Dalton, how come you're so quiet?" And he said, "If I wasn't this quiet, how could I hear you when you need me?"
Been dealing with this?
It's obviously been very stressful. The group that Dalton was involved with, a group called Urban Promise as well, they really facilitate a lot of stuff for the children. They had a wall where people could write their messages to Dalton. There was photographs of Dalton. We had a number of events where people could come and not only mourn his passing, but celebrate his life and the wonderful things he'd done in the community. And it's been very hard on them. I mean, months later, we're coming up to 9 months, they still talk about him, they still miss him, they still wonder where he is. And it's been very, very difficult for them to recover from it. But we've seen some positive stuff with some of the older youth who have said, he started something good, we want to continue with that. We can't let his memory die. And what he started's got to continue. And during the summer, we had more people in the community wanting to volunteer for summer programs. And specifically, I think, as a result of what they saw in Dalton.